This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, July 13th. Please stand for our invocation, led by Pastor Chris Joyner, Life Change Ministry, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you now for this time and occasion. Father, we ask that the agenda that go before us on the day, that you bless it right now. Father, we ask your continued guidance of the mayor and the city council. Father, we ask your protection over all city officials, over all public defenders, over all police, fire, emergency workers, oh Heavenly Father, public works. We ask you keep them now and protect them right now. And Father, we ask now that as we go forward in this day, we ask for a divine intervention in our city. We ask now, Father, with the violence and the increasing things going on, that you just divinely intervene and help us to come up with ways, methods, and modes to deter some of the things that are going on. Protect our children. Keep us in your keeping care. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. President Manzi.
Here.
Vice President Small.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich. Here. Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
We first would ask that you turn off or silence all of your electronic devices before or upon entering the council meeting. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must clearly state for the record his or her name and address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must first contact the city clerk's office no later than 2 p.m. on the Thursday preceding the Tuesday in which you'd like to speak. All of your commentary must be pertinent to City of Mobile business. Any person who hadn't given that proper notice to the clerk's office will not be allowed to address the council on a non-agenda item. Speakers are granted 3 minutes to make their complete presentation. A bell will sound indicating the end of 2 minutes, and also indicating that you have 60 seconds for summarizing your commentary. When addressing the council, there should be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements ought to be made to myself as a service chair, and if there are any council members who wish to be recognized, they will have that opportunity. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue public outcry or applause allowed. These are the rules for this particular meeting, and again, we're grateful and appreciative of your interest in our municipal government.
Approval of minutes of July 6th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor's office.
Yeah, President Manzi, I'll be making comments on behalf of the mayor. He
Yes,
had
sir.
a last-minute conflict. But first and foremost, the Contractors College, which y'all have heard so much about, and the mayor acknowledges his excitement in the partnership today with Bishop State for the start of a new Contractors College. The program will be funded through the City of Mobile using HUD grant funds, and these are enough to commit to 2 classes of 20, and the city will continue to look for future funding to continue the partnership moving forward. All the fees and tuition will be covered for qualified applicants. The curriculum will be focused on teaching small business construction owners about how to be successful, and I think we all know there's never been a more growing high demand for contractors to work here in the City of Mobile. This Contractors College will also enhance our existing DBE program as we continue our commitment to grow our disadvantaged business partners' participation and to meet project demands of our engineering, architectural, and neighborhood and housing development. The mayor is very grateful to Dr. Sykes and his team, as we know that these business owners are in great hands and come away from the program with professional education and skills in order to make them successful. Yesterday, the mayor joined the Wave Transit System General Manager Damon Dash to demonstrate some of the features of the 4 new buses that have just been delivered to the city of Mobile. By the end of the month, there will be a total of 4 of these new modern urban-style 35-foot buses in use for riders. Next year, the intent is to purchase 5 more of these new buses. The new buses are big steps toward modernizing the fleet and improving the rider experience. The buses are, along with the payment system, combined to create a better technology for riders and drivers. All of these buses are ADA accessible for riders in wheelchairs, and today's announcement is part of a greater investment in the Wave capital assets. This includes passenger amenities like benches and shade and rain coverings at the bus stops, and also the kickoff to Jim DeLapp, who is going to introduce a new director in the replacement.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to recognize this morning our newest director in the Public Works Directorate, Ms. Cassie Boatwright. Introduce her to you. She's the new director of our Real Estate Asset Management Department. And Cassie, if you'll come down and join me. As you'll recall, about 3 months ago, a little more than 3 months ago, Brad Christensen retired from the city after his many years of service. And in the interim time, Michelle Melton, who's also here, covered down as the deputy director and the acting director for Real Estate Asset Management while we sought to find a new director. And I'm pleased to welcome and introduce to you Ms. Cassie Boatwright. She comes to us from serving as the director of facilities for Escambia County, Florida. She lives in Stockton, Alabama. She has also served as in multiple other facilities directors positions, to include the Coastal Alabama Community College, Bishop State, as well as Pensacola State College and several others. So she brings a vast experience in facilities management, and we're really excited to have her on the team to take the Real Estate and Asset Management Department to the next level. So Cassie, welcome. Any comments?
Good morning. I just want to say I'm happy to be here and excited to serve. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Good. Great, thanks. Oh, since I have the floor, I go ahead and take 2 seconds and steal the thunder from Councilman Smalls and Councilman Richardson. Just wanted to appreciate and thank them for their organizing the job fair yesterday. Really great success. We had about 80 participants show up, and we hope after we get their applications and go through them that we can get many of them to fill the vacancies we have in Public Works. So appreciate your all support in that.
Concludes the mayor's remarks, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Vice President.
thank you. Chief Barber, that's good news about the Bishop State and the city getting together to do this, especially with business owners. But I think, and I've been preaching this for a couple of years, a good partnership with Bishop State and the city of Mobile is to get the students who's going to school for electrical, AC, plumbing, and et cetera, to invest into these blighted properties that we have throughout the city, and for, they can turn back around and sell them. We got a new real estate person here that can, sell these houses and et cetera. But besides the students keep on practicing on the same thing at the school, they can actually go out into real life and do the real thing that fits up the real plumbing, the real electrical, the real AC, and et cetera. And again, I think there would be a great partnership between Bishop State and the city, and also that will help to save our communities that which we're losing pretty much every day, and that will sustain our communities and everything. But that's something that we should really look into and have a good partnership with the city. With Bishop State Community College.
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson.
I also like to ask Director Barber regarding the buses. I support new buses 100%. Did any of the funding for those buses come from the budget of the City of Mobile?
I'm going to flip to Joe Snowden, who's over.
No, they didn't. It did not.
Okay, so do you know where the funding came from?
Yes, it came from CARES Act.
CARES Act.
Yes.
Okay, it came from Joe Biden in that group. So, so do we plan on giving them any money out of our budget for new buses next year?
I believe that they're receiving additional funding for those buses, not out of the budget.
Okay, so if they're gonna buy some new buses, the funding is gonna be coming from Washington DC.
Yes.
Okay, because you could misinterpret saying we gonna buy, like the city may be putting some money in there. People gonna say we can't even resurface our streets and we buying new, so the city of Mobile is really not buying in the buses with our capital. We're buying the buses with federal funds, which I think is the wise thing to do. Not use your own if you can buy with somebody else's. So I'm not opposed to any of this. I just want to make it plain to the people out in the public that none of the funding that is being used by new buses is coming from the City of Mobile.
Yes, ma'am.
Adoption of the agenda.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to declare the structures at 2773 Spring Hill Avenue, 206 North Ann Street, 1409 Congress Street, and 1755 Duval Street public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak or offer any commentary during the public hearings associated with any of the addresses just called by our city clerk? Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Larry Johns, here representing Charlie Christmas. We have purchased that property, and we have...
Could you give us your address, please?
2773 Spring Hill Avenue.
Now you need to give us where you live.
Sir,
Did you state your address?
my address is 1738 Spanish Trace Drive, Saraland, Alabama.
Okay.
We purchased the property, and we have plans turned in to Frank Dagley to rehab that building and turn it into an antique store again.
Okay.
Which property is this?
2773 Spring Hill Avenue.
We need to talk about that.
I think we could probably just call it David Offenbach, because he said...
Mr. Doffenbach?
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And yes, David Dockenbaugh, Deputy Director, Municipal Enforcement. This is a commercial structure on Spring Hill Avenue. I think, Mr. Richardson, it's in your district, so you're well familiar with
And
this
I've been
building.
complaining about this building for a long time.
Yes, sir. Municipal Enforcement, our position is due to the condition of the roof and the exterior walls, they're both failing to the point where we needed to present this application to the City Council. That in its current condition, it is a public nuisance, and we're requesting some hearing to move forward to the next step. However, the gentleman that spoke, it's my understanding he is a new owner, and we do have the ability to pause for a month, 30 days, 60 days, if that's what the council would like to do, to have him work with his engineer and the Build Mobile staff to submit applications to renovate the building. I would be in favor of that. However, I would hope that we stay like a 30-day tabling just to see what his progress is, and then we can go to another 30 days if necessary.
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson.
I want to hear the plan. I want the gentleman who just left the microphone to come back and tell us what is the plan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Our plan is to turn the building back into an antique store.
I know, but I want to know when are you going to start doing that?
Our plans have already been turned over to Frank Dagley. He's redrawing everything, and he hopes to have it out within 60 days.
Okay, he would have the plans ready in 60 days?
Yes, sir.
When do you think something is going to have to happen? The building is about to fall down. So when are they planning on actually renovating? So all of this paperwork, he's going to draw the plans up in 60 days. But something has got to happen to the building itself. So when do you think construction will start?
If we can get the plans within 60 days, the city will have to approve, and probably within 90 days, construction will start.
Mr. Zuckerberg, what you want to say? What you say about that?
We do need to keep in mind this is a commercial building, which
Yes.
does require commercial plans to be submitted by a design professional, and we do know it takes time. But in the end, if we go past 60 days, municipal enforcement will have to start over if we decide to go to the nuisance abatement track. I see that we have an owner that has an interest, that wants to revitalize the building, and he wants to move forward, so I think we should give him a chance.
Okay, so you think we ought to lay it over for 60 or 90 to 60 days? Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Doc Bart, and know that construction is very high in demand and possibly it could go over 60 days. I'm just asking this question here. What if it come back to us in 60 days and Mr. Burge is just not finishing? If the council go ahead and declare it to keep it from coming back to council, could it be an administrative decision to go ahead with it and or not, and just give the new owner an opportunity once it go over 60 days?
I think in 60 days, we'll have more information to make a decision, specifically the plans that
Yes.
Mr. Dagley is working on, his engineering firm, and then we can take that into account. If there's plans that are developed and he's submitted for a permit to renovate, I would be in a good position. Let's take a step back, table it, and give him a chance. For some reason, if he does not, we can always revisit it in 4 to 6 months.
Because I know construction is high in demand now, so that's the reason I was asking. But thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak concerning any of the properties called by city clerk for public hearing? If not, public hearings are closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Walter Moore.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Walter Moore. I live at 411 Chin Street. That's in the Magazine Point area out there in Africa Town. I'm here today to talk about Noah's Ordinance, Section 39-96.1. I've been calling the police. I guess I probably called the wrong number. I didn't know 311 exists at night. So I've been calling the 208-7211 number. All I'm here today, I got some audio for you. To see why you guys are not enforcing the noise ordinance and the code, the zoning code. So if you don't mind, can I play a little something for you? What I hear, what I go through every day.
Yes, sir.
would do this to me, wouldn't he?
That's the way it happens sometimes.
Yeah, my 3 minutes gonna be gone. Yeah, it's not even getting it. I wanted to talk to the clerk and try to get some Wi-Fi. It's just buffering. But anyway, how could I get some answers about the zoning and the noise ordinance?
If you could, Mr. Moore, what is the situation? What is it that
It's
you?
Holder Weaver at night. Holder Weaver Construction, 1920, Bay Bridge Cutoff Road. They bumping their tailgate. I guess when they dumping the whole asphalt or whatever they're doing, it's bam, bam, bam. I jumps up. You know, I keep them going right there by the bed, so I think somebody coming in. But I said, no, that's them. So that's when I get up and I call the 208-7211 on. And then in the daytime, it's barking back there.
Mr. Public Safety Director?
So I spoke with Mr. Moore on yesterday, and we initiated an investigation in the area on yesterday. I think Mr. Moore spoke with Sergeant Sanders, if I'm not mistaken. He reached out to you on yesterday, and he shared with him that we'd be working on addressing the problem for him.
Well, thank you for coming down, Mr. Moore, and hopefully, through the results of this investigation, hopefully that will mitigate the concern you have.
Okay. Another thing I got planned Friday. If you guys ain't got nothing to do, put some hot dogs, hamburgers on, and invite you guys out.
Thank
on
you.
10th Street.
Yes, sir.
You can't miss it. I'm gonna have the tents up, chairs out. Come on, drink a Coke. It'll take you 5 minutes to live what I'm living.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
Walter Young.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Walter Young. I reside at 200 Page Avenue, Mobile, Alabama, 36607. I'm speaking on the behalf of the city retirees. My questions to the city council and to the administration. We're asking for a raise in our retirement funds to help absorb the cost of our insurance benefits and help curb the rising costs to the economy. We, the city retirees, would like to be included in the surplus funds that is available. The city retirees have not had a raise in 20 or so years. Taking a quote from Councilman Joel Daves, the city is in the best position it's ever been in its 300-year history. The city budget has doubled, and the city is in excellent financial shape. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Cheryl Hunt.
Mr. President,
Mr. Richardson?
while Ms. Hunt is coming, I want Mr. Young to know that any revenue item must be placed on the agenda by the mayor. I just want you to know, it's not that we're opposed to you all having a raise. We can't put a raise on the council agenda. Only the mayor can put it up there. So I know he's not here, but all his department heads are here. Hopefully they're gonna tell him what you say. I think you all need to schedule a meeting. You need to go to the 10th floor and look the mayor in his eyes and tell him you all want some money. And quote Councilman Dave. Quote him. You got a great quote now, but I think telling us not gonna help. Make an appointment to meet with the mayor and lay your case out before the mayor, because only the mayor can place revenue items on our agenda. Expenditure items. Capital, if we're gonna take from coming out of our budget, the mayor is gonna have to put it up there. Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
Just for a matter of clarity, the discussion of cost of living adjustments for retirees has been had also with city legal as well as the finance director. The conversation continues. We have another meeting scheduled tomorrow to continue that conversation. I do want you to be aware that although we may provide the funding, the authorization is actually provided through the RSA retirement fund. It's not a administrative discretionary decision that we can do that. And so I just wanted to point that out. And so we are looking for a path forward. We do maintain 2 retirement funds. One of them is the Police and Fire Retirement Fund, which is handled through a local board. And the other one is through the state retirement system. And so they have not authorized a cost of living adjustment, as Mr. Young has stated, in quite some time. I don't think it was 20 years, but it's certainly 12 to 15 years. And so that conversation is being had by the administration, and we are, again, meeting consistently on it to try to figure out how to offset some of the cost of living increases that retirees are seeing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Cheryl Hyman. I was here a couple of weeks ago. I stay at 662 South Dearborn Street, Mobile, Alabama. I came in to talk to the commissioners. Out of respect, I found out that I was defamed in my character by you, Mr. Manzi, that I gave you pictures. I called you over a year ago about the apartments on New Jersey Street.
Wait a minute, listen, before you get started. I didn't defame anybody. I didn't say anything relative to your character, your property, or your name at all, and it's on video. No, ma'am. So somebody reported that to you. They reported that to you in error.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, on the YouTube or whatever y'all do here in the city of Mobile, it was told, I appreciate the lady came in and told you the side of the apartment story.
Yes, ma'am.
Which was not true. I called you over a year ago and asked you for help. You told me that you would you would get back with me.
Yes, ma'am.
But you told somebody to write me a letter and tell me that you did all you could do. They wouldn't write me the letter because they knew that they had been working with me. First of all, I want to thank Ms. Calloway and the mayor and his staff. They've been working diligently to get them apartments, and they have came up a lot.
Yes, ma'am.
I came in here out of truth, and I asked for help. For you to say, somebody came in crying and all upset. I came in to ask you for help because I was catching hell with them apartments and trash. Now it's getting better by the mayor and Miss Calloway. They working their behinds off. Even the mayor's secretary back in 2012, 2013, she was working on it. So I didn't come in here to tell no lies about what was really going on. All I asked for was help. For us, you telling somebody to write me a letter, I didn't get the letter because you didn't know that they was working with me and the mayor's secretary to try to help me get this done. But I appreciate the fact that Ms. Calloway and the mayor, they have gotten this situation under control. They still not compliant to everything, but boy, it's a big difference. And I really, truly appreciate the fact that y'all give me the opportunity to speak. I'm getting ready to buy another house, and it will not be in the state of Alabama if it continued to be what you say you didn't do, but it's on.
Mr. President,
Appreciate it.
I know at the beginning of the meeting, our President Manzi made a statement about how there were to be no personal attacks on anybody here. And we've listened to you call him out several times, and it is not appreciated. If you've got problems, we understand that. But please be respectful of the council members here.
Yes, ma'am, and I appreciate that. I don't feel that I was personally attacked. I was.
Ma'am, no arguing.
Okay.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
One thing, Ms. Hunt, thank you, for addressing your concerns, and you acknowledged the mayor and Ms. Casey Calloway and administration for resolving that issue. That's their responsibility by law. Okay. It's not the council responsibility. Only thing that Councilman Manzi can do is report it to the mayor and his administration, which is his secretary and Casey Calloway. That's their job. Okay. Mr. Manzi did his job once he had returned it over to the mayor. It's a misdemeanor that if Mr. Manzi tell any city employee like Casey Calloway to go out there and pick up some trash. Right. As soon as he do that, guess what's gonna happen? He kicked off the council by state law. The state law tells him that everything that he needs, he got to go through the mayor. That's the mayor's responsibility for trash, not Mr. Manzi. Even though Mr. Manzi is over that, you know, that's his district, but the law states that's the mayor's job.
Okay.
So it's not Mr. Manzi. He did what he's supposed to done, was reported to the mayor. And the mayor did what he's supposed to done by acting on it. So things did flow like it had supposed to have done. But again, that's not Mr. Manzi's issue, as in make sure the trash is picked up. His issue is to make sure it's reported, and that's what he done. But it's the mayor's responsibility to go out there and make sure that his administration and the city workers go out there and do it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I was just saying I wasn't getting any help at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, yeah, first off, yeah, you wasn't getting any help, but it wasn't due to the fact that I wasn't reporting it. For years, you and I have been in contact about that property. For years. And each time that you've called me, I don't know how many times I've been at your property, I've seen what you told me was going on and taking place, and I have reported it to the administration. As a matter of fact, I was the one that suggested to you that you come here. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I suggested, since we were getting nowhere supposedly, I suggested that you come here and speak to the mayor directly and his staff directly, which is what you did.
Yeah.
And as a result of my suggestion, now you've gotten all this help. I cannot control if the apartment manager at the apartment heard what you said and chose to sign in and give us her side of the story. I can't control that. We gave her the same 3 minutes that we allotted you. The difference is, now you've come and you've got all this assistance from Ms. Calloway and from the mayor's office, and hopefully that you're satisfied and the problem has been resolved. But as far as what as Council Vice President Small just said, I did as much as I could do to assist you outside of standing outside your front yard picking up the trash myself. And I suggested you come here so that Mayor Stimpson and his staff could hear your plea just like I was hearing it. And as a result of you following my suggestion, you got the help that you deserve.
I can't take away from that. You did suggest it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for coming down to talk about the resolve.
Wonderful.
We appreciate that.
Trust me, it is working.
Mr.
Good.
President,
That's good news for us. Thank you.
Mr. Daves.
I'd like to piggyback on something Councilman Small said. The City Council is a legislative body. The City Council has no executive authority whatsoever. As a matter of fact, we are forbidden by state law from exercising executive authority over any. We got one person that works for us. She's sitting right over there on her phone. Everybody else works for the mayor.
Oh, man.
Now, prior to 1985, the city of Mobile had 3 city commissioners, I believe they were called back then. They had both legislative and executive authority, much as the Mobile County Commission has now. But in 1985, that arrangement was done away with by the state legislature. And the powers of the legislative and the executive branches of government were divided. The executive power was given to a mayor and the legislative power in the council. That's important for everybody to understand. We can advocate, we can ask, we can urge, but we cannot direct. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Mr. President.
Mr. Richardson.
I would like to expound just a little further, because by the time I get home, I probably would have 30 or 40 emails from people with issues that they want me to address, and every one of them is an administrative matter. So this is how you can determine, for the benefit of you all here and for those people out there that's listening, if you want to know whether or not it's the council's responsibility or the mayor's responsibility, if it's going to require an employee to rectify it. If what you want done, a city employee is going to have to come out and do it. They all work for the mayor. All city employees work for the mayor, and we can't send them out there to do it. It's easy. So 311, we don't have anything to do with that. That's the mayor apparatus. It's not us. And the reason we get called because, and I wrote the mayor and asked him, how does the system, how does the citizens appeal what is happening over at 311? In other words, if you call an issue into 311 and you get no action, what's your next step? I got no answer. No, because you know what the next step is? To call us. But I told the mayor to know, I'm giving him your number, 208-78000. I'm not taking no hit for nobody. I've been quit doing that. Oh no, I'm giving the mayor's number. So what they did, you called his number, they said, okay, if you want to do this, hit 1 for that, 2 for that, by that time you hang up. They run you ring around the roses, you dial 287-800. Okay, so this is the mayor's office, but if you want to talk about that, hit 1. But if you want to talk about that, hit 2, hit 3. I done told my people bypass all that, hit 7. Now, the mayor's in charge of all city employees, all city property, all city equipment, all city funds. Mayor's in charge of it, not us. So you said, well, what's your? I mean, if you can't do none of that, why would we need a council member? Have you been to a mayor's meeting? How many times have you attended a mayor's meeting? That's why you need us. You at my meeting. You at our meeting. Because we are transacting city business right now. That's what we're doing. When we finish transacting city business, then the mayor gonna act on what we transacted. We are transacting city business right now. There are no mayor meetings. It's council meetings. Because our responsibility is to transact the city business. Every Tuesday, we transact city business. That's what we're doing right now. We transact the city business. As a result of this, the mayor's going to go get contracts and get the job done, but we're going to have to prove the funds. He's in charge of the money, but then we have to prove what he's doing. It has to come back to us. So it's an important role for all of us to play, all of the trash out there, the crime, who is shot, we can't do nothing about it. We can't send no police over there. Police work for the mayor. We can't do it. We can't interfere. Just want to get that in.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk.
Wendy MacArthur.
Miss Wendy MacArthur.
Okay. Timothy Hollis.
Morning. Morning. Timothy Hollis, 1924 Seal Street, Mobile, Alabama. Last week I came down and I spoke about adding transportation to the ARP. I got no response like usual. Then I signed up on Thursday to come back as I am here now. Then I got a call from department head from the administration. It was Mr. Snowden. He was explaining to me that the WAVE had already received funds from the CARES Act, but that was only for new buses and a new payment system. I find it ironic that a day before I come back to talk about transportation and the WAVE transit, our mayor has a press conference with the skeleton crew in front of the Civic Center the day before, talking about the new buses. Well, what good is new buses on a broken system? It's cool, that's fine, that's nice. We need the new buses. But what good are new buses on a broken system? Now, I remember in 2016, This exact same council unanimously passed its 2016 budget. It cut $703,640 from its allocation to the WAVE. And it was because of, quote unquote, due to route inefficiency, route productivity, and routing outside of Mobile city limits. It was quoted in AL.com by Kevin Harrison, Director of Transportation Planning at the South Alabama Regional Planning Commission. He argued that the cuts would hurt Mobile itself. It would crush our economy in some kind of way. It hurt our economy. Why? Because you had people that lived outside of the city limits that worked in Mobile that depended on the WAVE. You had people that lived outside of the city limits that used the WAVE to come to the city to shop. You had people that lived outside of the city limits that came to the city of Mobile by the WAVE to go to the doctors. Now, if this council can't see that that is a problem, it's been 5 years since that issue. I remember there was a council person, and I can't call his name because it'll be a personal attack. But I advise everybody to do their homework and do the research. He said, if we made a problem today, we can go back tomorrow and we can make an amendment. So my question is, when will this council amend the broken transportation system? When will they amend their decision that they made? If we can't amend that, let's get this council to get together and put together their own people first plan. Because this is a strong council, weak mayor form of government. Whatever the mayor puts together, you all can put the same thing together and combat that. He can veto it, and you can still come right back and veto what he vetoed. So I advise this council to put the people first and act like you have a moral compass and do something about our broken transportation system. Thank you. I'll stop when I'm ready.
Absolutely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the rules were clearly laid out relative to your time. Just as we will be respectful of your time, we're asking that you be respectful of us and ours.
Mr. President.
Mr. Richardson. Mr. Richardson.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I was part of the council members who voted to take funding from WAVE, and it had to do with bus transportation to Pritchett, Saverland, Chickasaw. What happened is that the mayor cut appropriations to Ville, and that's the senior center, and Ville was going to have to close. The mayor cut money to the Boys and Girls Club, and they may have had to close. We had to look at the council. If the council going to give Ville some money, we got to take it from somewhere. We have to look at the budget to see what is the logical place to get the money from. So when we contact the city officials in Saverland, Chickasaw, and Pritchett, say, will you contribute anything toward the bus coming up there to pick your citizens up? And they said, no. So the issue is whether or not the people in Saverland and Chickasaw and Pritchett will be able to get on the bus versus whether or not the seniors will have a place to go. Do you think I'm going to be looking out for the citizens in Chickasaw? If my seniors don't have nowhere to go? I'm not the mayor of no Chickasaw. I'm not no council member of Chickasaw. If they don't have no bus, they need to go come and sit down with us and put some money in the pot to get a bus. We took the money and we gave it to Ville. Ville is open. As a matter of fact, we were over there last night. We had a job fair over there. It was off the chain over there. It's on this side, on east of I-65, Ville is the place to go. We gave the money, but the Boys and Girls Club is up and running. These disadvantaged children, otherwise wouldn't have nowhere to go. We gave the money to the Boys and Girls Club in Ville. So I guess somebody is upset saying, you should have helped the citizens, you should have left Ville alone, you should have helped those citizens in Chickasaw. And the poor people in Saraland, what they going to do? I say contact the mayor and the council in Saraland and let them work out what their citizens going to do. It's not my job. I am a Mobile City Councilman. I'm not a Chickasaw City Councilman. I'm not a Saraland City Councilman. I'm not a Pritchett City Councilman. What they going to do? I think that the leaders of those communities need to put their heads together and figure out what they're going to do. We had to figure out what was best for our citizens, and I don't repent 1 second for having made that decision. Not one. I'd do it again if I had to do it. Bus service is not cut out in Pritchett. It's just not going where it needed. But the bus today goes right through Pritchett. What they're saying, I don't want to get out of my house and go over here and catch the bus. I want the bus to come down my street. It does not come down the street I live on. And I bet you it doesn't come down your street. You need to get up and go to the bus stop and get on the bus. Bus comes right straight through Pritchett right now. But it ain't coming by your house. Get up, go to the bus stop and get on the bus if you want to come to Mobile. It still runs to Pritchett. There's a transfer system out there. I believe it's on Whistler Avenue. It comes straight down to Pritchett. You can get on the bus if you want to. Just want to get that straight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson.
Reggie Hill regarding agenda items 31521, 6541, and 46534.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk, Mr. President. In the absence of our mayor, to the administration, citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, good morning. Reggie Hill, 1007 Center Street. As stated, I rise to discuss 31521, 60541, and 46534. I'm going to begin with 31521. I see the director in the audience today, and I would just like to ask the question, has anyone from the council received any information, particularly on the amendments that are being specified in this agenda item? Any council member? Okay, I'm hoping that possibly at the end of my time, and Mr. Roberts would be willing to express what these amendments are. My particular question is, does this have anything to do with ARP funding being shifted over, or is there some other additional amenities that are being applied, or does this apply to other organizations who may have submitted requests before and might have been denied? We see that resources have been going to specific familiar organizations year after year after year, but we're not necessarily yielding the results that I believe for the investment that we're making. So I'd just like to see some type of oversight, or we have any idea what's actually being amended since it's on the agenda. The next item, 60541. Once approved, Mr. President, how long will it take for these resources to be given to this organization? Excuse me.
541.
Well, it had nothing to do with that.
I don't know, Mr. That would be administrative.
Okay, well, it just seems to me that it's unique how you have to go through a process to get on the agenda with the council, and then the council approves it. This is back to the transacting point that was being made. Why isn't there, or how is there something that can be done to ensure that what's transacted and done by the council is done by the administration? It's taken care of by the administration. I don't understand how that operates. And it's very unique to me as well. We keep saying that we can't direct them. I just think shortly long ago, we had a mask issue. And when someone came down and it was against the policies of what someone may have personally wanted, they definitely directed someone to escort somebody out of the building. So that's just something we need to consider, since we're talking about this how you lose your job, directing people from the council's perspective. Now I want to turn to a lighter note. Excuse me, in the coming days, all municipal candidates will be receiving invitations to the second annual Molding Tomorrow Today, in which we give our youth an opportunity to engage with the elected officials and potential elected officials. First, the inaugural Molding Tomorrow Today was held in 2017. It's every cycle of municipal elections, and only one incumbent participated. Everyone was invited. Only one incumbent participated. And we actually have 4 of the people who were here part of that program today. Actually, even the moderator, he's in attendance as well today. And that spoke directly to the type of person that this woman is. I am honored to see this agenda item here. I think it's well deserved. I haven't always agreed with anything anybody up here has said, but you have always worked, I believe, to find ways that we can have consensus, where it can be sufficient for all people, and actually get into the facts. So I appreciate your service and congratulations on your retirement. Thank you all for yielding the floor.
CIP resolutions held over.
Madam City Clerk, before we move forward, I believe Ms. Smith has a presentation for an Employee of the Month. And they're here, so we want to, if we could, let's let them make that presentation, please.
Thank you very much. We actually have 3 Employee of the Month. So it is representing Public Works as a whole. So we will have Parks and Recreation, what we call Public Works at Large, which represents Bill Mobile, Engineering, REAM, and then we have Public Services as well. So we will be quick. I will go first. We have Parks and Recreation Employee of the Month is Ms. Johnny Rankins.
All right. Ms. Rankins.
Ms. Johnny Rankins works in our senior program. She's been employed with the city for 25 years. She's punctual and fair, works well with others, accepts change in a pleasant attitude. Every time you run across Ms. Rankins, she has an idea, but also she loves the seniors. Is one of those staff that if she leaves, I think the staff would probably, the seniors would probably jump on us. But it makes a difference because they make friends, but also this is their family. Ms. Rankins.
All right. Ms.
First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to God.
All
and
right.
to all my sisters and brothers, I must say, out of these 25 years, I thoroughly enjoyed working with the city, and I'm presently an employee of Mobile County Board of Education. So on behalf of everybody, my sisters and brothers, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Ms. Richardson.
Ms. Rankin. Ms. Rankin. Where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born in a little community called Nimp.
Hello. I had a feeling. The reason I said that, Mr. President, it's not that often that you have a citizen from the great community of Nimp up here at the podium. And she's also my cousin.
All right.
In the house. Now.
Wonderful.
Right.
Congratulations.
Mr. President.
Mr. Small.
Yeah, I have a privilege in saying that I knew Ms. Johnny Mae Meets Rankins all of my life. We go to the same church, grew up in the church up under Ms. Rankins, and went down to the sales center of DIP just a couple weeks ago, and the senior was upset because Ms. Rankins was pulled away from the sales center down there. So that speaks volume, you know, of her leadership and her work. And I'd like to say thank you so much for giving so many years to the city of Mobile. And also I'm trying to put a plug in for you can get back down to the South DIP to the sales center.
Okay, I'd like to recognize on behalf of John Peavy, who's couldn't be here today, to recognize the Public Services Employee of the Month, Tom Babb. Tom, if you'll come down here, please. Tom's been with the city 12 years. He's an equipment operator 3. And there probably isn't a piece of equipment down in the garage or motor pool that Tom can't operate. He's probably most known for being the water truck driver during the Mardi Gras parade cleanup. If you see that operation, and it moves at a high rate of speed and not only sprays the streets, but occasionally gets a person or two. But Tom's been extremely safe. Not only is he safe in what he does, but he's also really kind of a master equipment operator, and he really helps train and teach other employees on how to operate equipment safely within the Public Services Department. He's he's really just been a top notch. If you give Tom a job and ask him to go do anything, whatever it is, I need that building torn down, out of there in 24 hours, Tom's going to make it happen. One way or the other, he's going to figure out a way to get it done. So we can't thank him enough for what he does for the city on a day-to-day basis. And for that, we'd like to recognize him with the July Employee of the Month for Public Services. Tom, congratulations.
I love my job.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you so much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It gives me great pleasure to recognize Lisa Watkins as the Public Works at Large Build Mobile Employee of the Month. What makes this award special for Lisa is that it was based on recognition from her peers. When you look up team player in the dictionary, you will certainly see Lisa's beautiful face. Lisa is a Secretary 3 with the city, and she's been with us for 8 years. Lisa takes on an enormous load for our department, most notably during the pandemic. Her role was critical as we transitioned to an entirely remote operation. She was definitely the glue that kept our department together and fully functioning. I'm proud to say that we didn't miss a beat during that entire time. But more than that, Lisa is truly an ambassador for our department and to the city of Mobile. Whether it's a customer, a new employee, a volunteer board member, or someone in need of getting a problem or issue resolved, Lisa prioritizes every person that she engages with and goes above and beyond in every duty that she's assigned. Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
I'd like to thank Ms. Shayla Biko for the best job ever. I love my job just like Mr. Babb does, and I've enjoyed working with all of you people. I'd like to thank Ms. Smith, Mr. DeLapp, council, and the mayor for bringing this recognition program to our department. We've not had this. And, you know, I don't do the work of the Build Mobile department. We have 57 other employees who are out there every day bringing safety to construction and development and quality of life and resolving issues that the citizens have and making things nice for tourists and guests of the city of Mobile. So, as Shayla said, I'm really proud that this was something that was voted for me, for my fellow employees. It means a lot.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Yes, sir.
CIP resolutions held over. 21508, authorized contract with Inline LLC for LED fixture replacement for interstate streetlights.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moved and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolutions held over. 08510, approved purchase order to Team Adaptive for portable wheelchair lift for the convention center. 08511, approved purchase order to Locution Systems for dispatch and station alerting software renewal for fire administration. 08512, approved purchase order to CDW Government LLC for video camera system installation and supplies for public services. 08513, approved purchase order to NEC Corporation for America for annual software for fingerprint ID system. 08514, approved purchase order to Beard Equipment Company for root pruner for the Azalea City Golf Course. 08515, approved purchase order to Stuart Irby for street light poles for traffic engineering. 08516, approved purchase order Jerry Pate Turf and Irrigation for aerator for the Azalea City Golf Course. 21519, authorized contract with Tyndall Construction for fire station number 28, kitchen countertop replacement. 21520, authorized service contract with Touchdown Cleaning Services for carpet cleaning at the Mobile, Alabama Cruise Terminal. 31521, amend the HUD Plan Year 2020 CDBG Action Plan. 31522, authorize acceptance of a subaward and enter into an agreement with the Mobile County Commission for receipt of grant funds.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 37527 through 03547.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration for consent resolution 37-527 through 37-529 and 40-531 through 03-547.
I thought we were going to go ahead and take up 4530 and then take it up and then hold it over for 60.
Okay, well, we was also, let's add in 40-530.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
37528, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises only license for Wine Not.
No, he wanted, he changed, we're going ahead and taking up 527.
Oh, we are, okay.
We're not taking that up?
We are.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Okay. 37527, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine, off-premises license for Moroccan Market on Arlington Street. 37529, recommend approval to ABC Board for issuance of a retail beer, table wine on off-premises license for Maple Street Biscuit Company. 40, 531, 532, 533, 533 are declaring the structures at 206 North Ann Street, 1409 Congress Street, 1755 Duval Street public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 46, 534, name the Hillcrest Road entrance drive to Medal of Honor Park as Best Rich Way. 60, 535, approve award of special bonus to the Officer of the Month for June. 60, 536, approve award of special bonus to the June 21 Firefighter of the Month. 6537, approve award of special bonus to Bill Mobile Employee of the Month. 6538, approve award of special bonus to the Parks and Recreation Employee of the Month. And 6539, approve award of special bonus to Public Services Employee of the Month. 6540, determine an appropriation to Westside Athletic Association of Mobile serves a public purpose and approve payment. 6541, determine an appropriation to Ozanam Charitable Pharmacy serves a public purpose and approve payment. 21546, authorize contract with Alec Yasinsak for services as absentee election manager for the 2021 municipal election. 03547, reappoint Darby Lexenberg to the History Museum of Mobile Board.
So moved.
Been properly moved and second, any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr.
On
President.
item, Mr. Richardson.
On item 46, 534.
Right.
I would like to solicit all council members to join me as sponsor.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, Madam Clerk. So noted. Okay.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
4534, declare the structure at 2775 Spring Hill Avenue a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Move to hold over 60 days.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21542.
By council rules, this will lay over for 1 week.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 08543 through 21545.
By council rules, will lay over for 1 week.
Announcements.
Ms. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that. Just want to thank everyone who came out to the district meeting last week. We held our Christmas in July meeting. We had a great turnout. of people throughout the district, as well as members of the administration, including the mayor, Director Batiste. Shonda is not here, Shonda Smith. Jimmy Barber was there, the chief of staff. We had a terrific turnout. A lot of great information was shared. Plus, we also brought gifts and then just items that were needed by the residents of Wilmer Hall. So, again, thank you so much for everybody who came out. The Christmas in July was done simply because we had not been able to have a meeting since our last Christmas meeting. And we wanted to celebrate by being able to have an in-person meeting as well as to make up for no Christmas meeting. So that's why we did it this way, and of course included the gifts for Wilmer Hall. And again, just thank you to everyone, including all of the staff and volunteers at the Mobile Museum of Art, for opening up and for welcoming us and always being such great hosts. And just one other thing, of course, the agenda item that you saw to rename a street going into Medal of Honor Park. Congratulations to Bess Rich on Bess Rich Way, very deserving. And it will certainly help to commemorate all that Mrs. Rich has done for this park over the years. As people go to the park to enjoy it, they will see the name and they will know that Bess is one of the people who was primarily responsible, I think, for making all of those improvements and making it possible for families and children to come and enjoy it. So congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Mr. Williams. Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. On last evening, as you heard earlier, the City Council has sponsored a job fair for Public Works. It's very well attended. We had many people start showing up at 5:15, which the job fair did not start till 6 o'clock p.m. Supposed to, but we had people come in early on yesterday afternoon. It was a great success. The people at Ville had opened up their doors. They was very happy. They was taking more pictures than our public relations person, Cassandra. And I do like to thank Cassandra and also Ms. Jada for coming out on last evening to help to assist with the job fair. And also like to thank the administration for all the help that you all had contributed on yesterday, also to make this job fair very great success. Looking to have more in the future. I think I was talking to Ms. Smith, maybe sometime in October, looking to have another job fair again. We have plenty of jobs in the city of Mobile that we're advocating for people to come and apply and get the jobs for. Again, the council, we received a lot of phone calls about when my street is going to be, swept, etc. We can't do it. We don't have employees. So if you know anybody that's looking for a job, please contact the City of Mobile. And on next Tuesday, there will be food trucks at the Arlington Park, which is located on Broad Street in Brooklyn Field. I believe it starts around about 5 o'clock p.m. But just look on the Parks and Recreation Facebook page to get the details. Again, the food trucks are coming to District 3 at the Arlington Park, which is located on Broad Street. And again, I do appreciate each and every one of the citizens of District 3. And remember, any city services that you have, please dial 311. If you cannot dial 311 from your cell phone, please dial 208-5311. Want to mention one other thing. Something had hit me earlier today. Citizen had texted me regarding crimes in the neighborhood. And if you are fearful to report crimes, I tell many citizens to go ahead and just block out your number to the non-emergency police department number, which you press *67, then 208-7211. I have ran into several citizens within the past couple of weeks that are scared to report different issues that's going on in their neighborhood because they're scared of retaliation. And again, if you are very fearful of just reporting and giving your name, do not give your name. Just block your number out and just dial 208-7211 and just report that issue. And if I'm not mistaken, we have our safety director in front of us that the police department has to respond to every call and every issue to make sure that, things should be going like it should be. But again, I've been receiving a lot of calls lately because citizens are scared, and I do understand about retaliation. But again, just do not just sit at home and just be, suffer with the consequences. You know, if it's some crime that's going on in your neighborhood and you're scared to report it, just block out your number, start 67, and then dial 208-7211. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Ms. Rich?
Thank you.
Oh, one thing, congratulations, Ms. Rich. You've done great works, been on this council for 8.5 years, and you have been a very big advocate for the Medal of Honor Park, and I think you deserve more than just a street name in Medal of Honor Park, but you know, when people turn into that particular street, they see your name, and again, you well deserve of that for all the work that you've done over there at Medal of Honor.
Thank you. And I would like to thank my colleagues for doing that and making it a reality. I really do appreciate it. I was telling Ms. Gregory that there's only one park in the entire district, so it was easy. I only had one child, so to speak, and all my love went directly to that park. It's bigger than most parks. It's the second largest park, but it's been a pleasure, and I thank all the administrations that I worked with, especially knowing in the beginning that some things were not exactly seen as doable, but because the people beneath me were so determined, it really took a community effort in all of the things that took place, and it was my pleasure to advocate for them. And again, thank you very much. I'd like to also remind citizens about the free smoke detectors that our Mobile Fire Rescue Department is giving out. And this is, they'll actually come to your home to install it. You have to call 208-7484. Unfortunately, I believe there was a citizen who was recently tragically killed in a house fire. No saying that the alarm system didn't work or anything like that. I'm not going there. But this is really a very excellent program. They will actually come out to your home and put that alarm in for you. And it's something that is really a stunning project, community-based, and coming from our Mobile Fire Rescue Department. So please call that number, 208-7484. And I would also like to remind citizens that this weekend is tax-free for school supplies. And there's a state website that will list the items that it applies to. It'll start Friday at midnight and go through Sunday, ending Sunday at midnight. So again, that's something that you'll save quite a bit on your school supplies and things that you need for education. And I believe it's also, I'm not sure about uniforms or clothes, but I know it's supplies for certain. And again, that's this weekend, and it's a great initiative, so I hope people take advantage of it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Richardson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with CJ that Bess is worthy of something higher than this, and I tried to do something, and she was opposed to it. I had to go along with, I had to do something that she would not be opposed to. Bess would just not want to step on nobody's toes. So this is a unnamed road, and nobody's living on it. So it's not like we trying to disrupt anybody's service. So this is great, and hopefully in the future we can find something to better honor Ms. Rich. I'm going to follow up. I'm going to. I want the city clerk to. Mayor Ann usually handle this for me, to contact Jennifer White, traffic engineer, to go ahead and make the sign Bess Rich Way. And when the sign is made, I'm going to schedule, in conjunction with Bess, an official unveiling of the sign. And at that time, I'm going to want her to come with her family, inviting any council member who want to join us for the official unveiling. We just are not going to let the people ride by and say, "Ooh, that's best." No, we're going to have an official unveiling. We're going to make some noise. The world going to know this is Bess Rich Way. So we're going to do that as soon as Jennifer can get that ready for us. I was at the jobs fair last night at VIA, and it was tremendous. lots of city department heads out there. We had the recreation, where our jobs, over on Government Street, the people who hire employees, personnel board. We had the Mobile County Personnel Board officials there, and had a list of all of their jobs, and they were helping people to put in for those jobs. I just thought that was just great. They had a number of people from that staff that was providing assistance to as many jobs are available, and they was trying to help them to acquire those jobs. I was impressed with what happened. And this is to you, Director DeLapp. I got a call last week stating that the service gate to Figures Park was locked. You see what I'm saying? The service gate where they would go into the park was locked. So you had children, coaches, parents, all there, and they couldn't get in. And they finally said the reason they locked it, that it had been reported that someone in a motorized vehicle had gone through the gate onto the field. So I rode over there to investigate what was going on. I don't have nothing against the service gate being locked, but there's not one pedestrian entry. In other words, the parking lot is Allenson Street. The whole street is a parking lot. So when people go into the park, they shouldn't have to get out the parking lot and walk way around somewhere. The service gate is in case the fire department, ambulance or something needs to go, even people that's going to cut the grass, they would let them in the service gate. Okay, so if you go to Sage Park, you have a north entry and a south entry. You don't have no east. You have one east entry, and we made that entry. It's a pedestrian gate for the people going to the surgical center back there. If they want to exercise, they can leave the surgical center, go through the pedestrian gate and get on. But if you're going down Sage Avenue, there's no way to get into the park. You got to go up to Dolphin Street, the north entry. At the north entry, the whole service gate is knocked down. There's no lock on it because it's down, the whole gate. You have 5 pedestrian entry gates at Sage Avenue. On the south side, you have 4 pedestrian entry gates. At Figure, you have 0 pedestrian. You can't lock up the only gate. You got to let the people in. So I have contributed $800,000 to Figures Park. And I'm asking you, build some gates. Let the people in. This is not no earth moving. You don't need no big equipment. Cut the wire down, tie it, let the... So I'm asking you as soon as possible to make some... you don't have to make 5, but you need to make more than 1. At the parking lot, in all parks, when you get to the parking lot, if you have a fenced-in field, when you get to the parking lot, the people ought to be able to leave the parking lot, go through the entry, the pedestrian gate, and get onto the field. That's just standard. Now, what happened? I don't know what happened, but so that people won't go back up there again, and it's locked out. Put some pedestrian gates up. That's all I'm recommending. And I'll be back if, after a couple of weeks, if we don't have no pedestrian gates, I'll be back preaching the same sermon over and over, because this should not take a day for somebody to go out there and fix some gates for the people to go in. So this is the quest from me, because we can't say that, but they ain't got no money to make no gates. Take away from the $800,000, fix the gate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to remind everybody, there will be a District 5 community meeting this evening at 6 o'clock p.m. At Westminster Presbyterian Church, which is on the corner of Airport Boulevard and Sage Avenue. 6 o'clock p.m., Westminster Presbyterian Church. The invited guests are Mayor Stimson, Public Services Director DeLapp, Public Safety Director Batiste. So I look forward to seeing citizens out there at that this evening. I'd also am happy that we were able to give this recommendation to council, this recognition to Councilwoman Rich, who has done more for certainly Public Safety Park than anybody else. Its amenities are there because of her efforts. And I know she's as happy as I am that the cost of this recognition is negligible. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, before you
Ms.
wrap up, you know what happens when you start recognizing or trying to recognize everyone who was at a meeting or at an event. You always leave out someone. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows, and especially after Mr. Davis made his announcement, that of course Mayor Stimson was at my meeting, as well as a number of his staff. So thank you all for coming and being there and sharing the information. I know it takes a lot of your time away from your families to come to these meetings, and when you have 7 of us who hold these meetings, that's a lot of time. So thank you all for coming. One of the kind of fun things that happened was Tony McCarron was there, and you know he is helping to recruit for the police and fire department, and he gave a rousing pitch for all of public safety. And for those who spoke after Tony, they were like, not again, I have to come after Tony McCarron. So that was great, and I just, again, appreciate everyone for coming and being there and meeting and greeting all of the folks who were there. These Christmas meetings are a great time of fellowship, and that's what we do primarily at these meetings, is talk to the people, get to know them a little bit better, and give them an opportunity to get to know us. So thank you all at this table, Director Batiste for coming, Jimmy, of course, Chief of Staff, and the Mayor, and Anitra was here, she was there. So when you all provide this many people this level of support, it really means a lot to all of us. And speaking of support and accolades, I have to thank Public Works again for the work that they are doing to keep the medians mowed. You know, Ziegler Boulevard is a heavily trafficked corridor out there, and with all of the widening work that's going on, it's very difficult for them to get the mowers in and out, but they're doing a terrific job. So just please thank them for me, let them know how much we appreciate it, and all the work that they're doing.
Yes, ma'am. And I join my colleagues in extending my congratulations to Ms. Bess Rich. I'm sure we'll be having further to say as time gets closer, but I certainly support this agenda item. And I think it's titled correctly, Bess Rich Way. Because if I had to look back over your years of service, you've done it just that, the Bess Rich Way. It's unique. You had your own positions, your own stances, and many times it was either the best rich way or no way. And sometimes you have to be that way. And so I think that street is named appropriately after your tenure in office. The best rich way of not only serving constituents, but also leading and providing guidance to our city. And it certainly is appreciated.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Meeting is adjourned.
Best